brief review on the muscle of the day, the rectus abdominis, aka the abs. And so you have the just one side that they're showing here. They're just showing that there is the spine underneath of it, and really it's kind of like, you know, spine is here, abs are here. There's some space in there. So the abdominals, of course, the six pack is usually we see these first three sections up here, but there's a fourth. Sometimes with people that have like really low body fat, so like in the single digits, you will see that last little bit there. Not exactly recommending that, because that low body fat percentage also makes you more susceptible to diseases, you know, even just infections like a cold. I think that's how Bruce Lee ultimately passed away, is like his body fat was so low, he just caught something as simple as a cold, and that just took him out. So don't risk your life for low body fat percentages. That's the thing there. But anyway, the rectus abdominis, as you can see, it's a pretty long muscle. So it attaches to the bottom of the sternum here. It's actually the xiphoid process, and then attaches to the cartilage of the 5th, 6th, and 7th ribs. Yes. And then goes all the way down to the pubic symphysis and pubic crest, excuse me, and then the symphysis pubis, excuse me. That's the more technical term. But that muscle there, again, when a muscle contracts, the attachment points get closer together. So in this case, it flexes the spine. So I'm curving the back here. It flexes the spine. Another thing that this note card mentions that I didn't mention in the first part is it actually helps, you know, keep the organs in, which is nice. It gives a little extra support there. So making sure that that is toned and not toned, but strengthened is very important. One, for your organs, but two, for the stability of the spine. Let me turn the camera here a little bit. The black on black isn't helping a whole lot. There we go. So the flexion of the spine here, kind of curling up into a ball. So sometimes it's kind of rare to see people with that lack of a curve in the spine. It happens though. So sometimes they need to lengthen out the abs. And then more often you see the low back, it's too engaged. And so like the butt is really sticking out, but then the belly is just like bleh. And so the abs are really stretched out, and that's usually where people get a lot of back pain, some low back pain. So when they say like, oh, you have low back pain, you should train your abs. You know, that's what they're talking about, is strengthening the abs so it helps even out that spinal pressure. Sometimes those vertebrae get squished back there. And so it just kind of helps open that up a little bit more and keep the spine neutral. The abs also help with a little bit of lateral flexion. So, you know, one side is contracting while the other side is loosening, and vice versa. So it stabilizes the spine, and that is the core's number one function. So the core meaning the rectus abdominis, the muscle of the day, the obliques, which will be next, the spinal erectors, which is on the spine, the back of the spine, and then the transverse abdominis, which kind of goes around everything, and that's underneath everything. We'll talk about that one too. But the core's number one function is to stabilize the spine in all ranges of motion. So they all work together, not isolated, but they all work together to help stabilize the spine and keep it safe through movement. So that is your muscle of the day, the rectus abdominis, part 1 of your core series.